If you can't stop singing along to the Ava Max song Sweet But Psycho, you're not alone. Her most iconic song has topped the charts in 15 different countries, and it seems like she's the hot new person on the music scene. But while audiences in the United States are just tuning in, Ava has been celebrated overseas for longer than most of us know. Why has it taken her so long to gain a following in the US? Let's take a look at her history and find out. Ava Max has claimed to be 100% Albanian and speaks fondly of the Albanian community. That said, it might shock you to learn that this talented musical artist actually grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Music has been an important part of her life since she was a little girl, and Ava is one of those people who has always felt her life purpose was clear. She knew she was destined to be a star and vowed to practice until she could sing as well as some of her heroes, namely powerhouse vocalists Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. While Ava may have wanted to be able to hit the high notes like her heroes, she also draws her inspiration from other sources. When asked who her style and performance icons are, she names people like Madonna, Gwen Stefani, and Britney Spears. And it shows in her Sweet But Psycho music video. If you haven't yet, be sure to check it out after you finish up here. Ava's parents are immigrants who came to the United States before she was born. Growing up, her parents inspired her to put the work in to achieve her dreams. Life hasn't always been easy for this performer, but she credits her parents with helping shape her indomitable work ethic. They moved to America with very little and were forced to work around the clock to make ends meet. At one point, both her mother and father were working 3 jobs apiece just to keep the family afloat. During this time, Ava often stayed with her grandmother, who told her something which has always stuck with her. You can't get anywhere if you chase the money. You have to chase the work. While some stars have always been obsessed with getting rich and famous, Ava stays grounded and focuses on creating her music. Not that it's not making her rich and famous, but that it's a side effect of her considerable talent. Ava is the first to admit her Albanian heritage has shaped both the sound of the music and her character over the course of her life. Her very first song was called Dream Away, and although she calls it a silly tune, Ava believes the message contained within it was important. It was all about causing your dreams to manifest into reality. Now that's something we can all get behind. Sometimes in today's internet-obsessed culture, it feels like most anyone can become famous overnight. But in reality, even if you're as talented as Ava, it can be far from easy. And at times, she found herself standing in her own way. She's always been in awe of women with funky, fun senses of fashion, but felt awkward trying to incorporate this into her own life. Ava struggled with fear and self-doubt, and found it was holding her back from becoming the performer she truly wanted to be. She compared her reluctance to fully take command of the spotlight to hiding behind a curtain. It took her a long time to feel comfortable expressing her emotions and putting herself out there in front of other people. A lot of us feel that way in our personal lives, let alone in front of a massive audience. But clearly, Ava didn't let that hold her back. Although she opted not to release her music in the United States at first, this may seem like a strange move, but it's actually not uncommon for stars to release music for international audiences first. Music legends such as Jimi Hendrix and pop favorites like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC have all hit it big in Europe and the UK before releasing their music back in the United States. Perhaps Ava wanted to generate some hype before her big debut in the States, which in this case was clearly a great strategy. Or it might be because she was hoping to find her footing, since she often finds herself compared to a similar singer, and an extremely popular one. We'll give you one guess about who we're talking about. Naturally, we're talking about the infamous Lady Gaga, and it's not hard to see why there's a comparison between the two. Sweet But Psycho has a similar dance-pop sound when compared to Lady Gaga's music, and it's not hard to notice. In addition, Ava is definitely a bit of a free spirit when it comes to her personal style, so it's not hard to see the connection between the two of them. Oh yeah, and the platinum blonde in a totally funky cut just helps cement the whole twinning thing between these two pop stars. Lady Gaga is an amazing star and icon to many, so it's not surprising that Ava seems to take some influence from her. But standing out on her own is important to Ava, and she definitely needs to find a way to escape from the shadow of Lady Gaga. Of course, Ava brings her own heart, fire, passion, and talent to all of her projects, but it's only natural to compare up-and-coming stars to those who have long and established careers. As far as Ava's career trajectory goes, it's off to a great start. In 2017, she was featured on the single Clap Your Hands by Le Youth, which was released in the United States. Then her debut single, My Way, came out through Atlantic Records in 2018 and made it up to the 38th spot on Romania's Airplay 100 chart. The same year, she released Slippin' featuring Gashi and Sweet But Psycho in May and August respectively. It's clear Sweet But Psycho is gonna be her breakout hit, and it's reached #1 on many charts in places like Sweden, Finland, and Norway. However, her rise to fame in the United States has been far slower than her overseas successes. It made it up to the 36th spot on the Hot 100, which is still a huge accomplishment, but not quite the same level of success she's achieved in other markets. Although it's up to the 24th place on Top 40 radio, streaming at number 47, and is number 13 in digital track sales. She even filmed her very first television appearance, which took place on The Late Late Show with James Corden. This performance, combined with the amazing music video of Sweet But Psycho, means it's only a matter of time before Ava is hitting the top of the US charts as well. Not only is Ava learning to market herself and gain exposure, but she's also still working on separating herself from the crowd and finding her own voice in an already loud world. According to Ava, she's really enjoying seeing her fans reacting to the content she's creating and tweaking her style accordingly. She claims her favorite part of creating Sweet But Psycho is watching all the fans' reactions and hearing stories about how they relate to it. Ava is a big believer in duality, and that humans are anything but simple. She believes Sweet But Psycho encapsulates this idea, and that is what audiences are responding to. When putting together music, Ava's always thinking about what visuals should be used to accompany her words, so she had a lot of creative ideas for her music video. This doesn't mean everyone who listens to her music fully understands what she's going for. The song is using the term psycho ironically and lambasting people who use the term to describe a certain type of woman who are often glorified in the media when they're really describing personality traits which are severely unhealthy. At the beginning of the Sweet But Psycho music video, we see Ava's character is dominant and uninhibited in a way which is generally considered attractive, before gradually transforming into a nightmarish character of those traits. However, some people believe Ava is glorifying the very tropes she's calling out with the Sweet But Psycho song and video. Ava's music is filled with messages that not everyone gets, at least not yet. She also put out a song called Not Your Barbie Girl, which is a version of the classic 90s song Barbie Girl by Aqua. She's altered the song to suit her own feminist message and turned it into an anthem for strong women. Some of the lyrics include, "Not your Barbie girl, I'm living in my own world. I ain't plastic, call me classic." Ava may be a gorgeous blonde singer with a beautiful voice, but you definitely don't want to underestimate her or be fooled by the catchy beats of her music. In My Way, she talks about feeling frustrated when men call her crazy for simply expressing her feelings in the same way they do. Oh, and she has a song called Salt, which is all about looking too good to waste time crying over an ex. That's something we've all needed to hear at some point in our lives. If there is one common criticism of Ava's music, which keeps popping up, is that she's just too much like Lady Gaga to stand on her own 2 feet. But take a moment and think back to before Lady Gaga herself exploded in popularity. Back then, everyone was harping on Lady Gaga for being way too much like Madonna and accused her of simply trying too hard to be contrary. But eventually, she began to stand out on her own merit and found no shortage of fans who love her crazy outfits, her unusual lyrics, and her awesome beats. We have no doubt that given the chance and room to grow, Ava will be able to stand out on her own merit and find a way to express what makes herself and her music so unique. In fact, her journey closely resembles that of another celebrity, Dua Lipa. She's also ethnically Albanian and started out by releasing her music in the UK, where she dominated the charts. Eventually, she set her sights on the United States, and we're pretty sure you know what happened when she did that. One major difference is that Dua Lipa spent years racking up hits and amassing an audience before releasing her music in the United States. So by the time things were official, she already had a huge following and tons of experience in the spotlight. Just because Ava made the leap quicker doesn't mean she's gonna fall. With the success of Sweet But Psycho, it seems like Ava has a chance to make it big and get the recognition she deserves all over the world. If she keeps on going at the rate she is now, who knows where she'll be in a couple of years. The video for Sweet But Psycho already has over 100 million views on YouTube, and we can't wait to see what she comes up with next. Hopefully, soon she'll be known in the States as Ava Max, and not the new Lady Gaga. After learning more about Ava Max, and hopefully having listened to a few of her songs, what do you think? Is it only a matter of time before she's a chart-topping hit in the States? Or is she just too much like Lady Gaga? Take a moment to let us know what you think in the comment section, and then click subscribe for more great videos from us here at TheTalko. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.